Don't let that fool you either. These guys are one of the fastest species of land primate. They can run at about 34 miles an hour in burst speeds. That's fast enough to get you a speeding ticket in a school zone, but not that I know. But you might notice that they're not talking a lot. They don't talk like a lot of other primates do. They prefer to communicate using facial expressions and bodily movements. So if you've ever gotten the look from your mom or your spouse or something, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They do also, however, act as a good welcoming committee to the next area that we're going to enter, the Habari Preserve. Now, the Habari Preserve that we're going to enter here is going to be a wide open area where the animals can roam freely. So keep your eyes peeled, keep your ears open, your nose is flared, maybe keep your mouths closed because the bug might fly in otherwise. But aside from that, also keeping your hands inside of the truck as we come on through here, especially as we come through these gates here. Now, like I mentioned, the Habari Preserve is going to be a wide open area where the animals can roam freely, so they can be anywhere here in the habitat. Except for here, I guess. But if you see an animal before me, please let me know. A, I'm facing that way. B, I didn't update my prescription this year or last year, so I don't exactly have the best eyesight. So, if you see an animal before I do, please let me know. But I do see one of our marabou storks on the right-hand side, the one with the black feathers. Looks like they're wearing a cloak. You can see that the marabou stork, they have that bald, scabby head. That's it because they're a species of bird called a carrion feeder. What that means is that they eat dead and rotting meat, carcasses, and things like that. A lot of people think that's gross. I think it's pretty cool. By eating all those carcasses and things, they help prevent the spread of diseases to the rest of the animals out there, and they act as a natural cleanup crew. Now, we do have 5 of them that live in here. I did see one of them back there, one right over here. Looks like the rest of them are standing over by this red shed on the right-hand side. And also under that shed, I see our 2 African crowned cranes. Now, it might be a little difficult to see from this point, but if they turn around, you might notice that they have a beautiful crest of feathers on their head. We can probably guess where they get the name crowned crane from. We have Bert and BT. Now, BT is very new to our habitat here. This is one of his first weeks living here. He loves following Bert around and learning how to be a crown crane here. Now, also on the right have East African bongos, the one that doesn't have horns. That is one of our babies, born just this year in January and February. You might also left-hand side too. On both sides, we do have bongos surrounding us. We do have 8 of them that live here, males and females, all ages as well. Now, it's very special, 2 born this year and 3 born last year. Not only special to us, but also special to the species in general. The East African bongo, unfortunately, is critically endangered. It's estimated that there's only about 80 to 100 of them left out in the wild, which is pretty crazy. Now, the things that we are learning here are helping to conserve them out in the wild as well. There are projects also going on in Africa to help reintroduce more individuals back onto the wild. The hope is that eventually the number will reach 700, but of course it will take time and effort to get up to that point. Now, inside this aviary on our right-hand side, you might see on the right-hand side, furthest to the right, that is Kivuli, one of our shoebill storks. Now, it's very special that you're seeing him as well, because in North America, there are only 6 individual shoebill storks that live in North America. Kivuli is one of them. We also have his girlfriend, on and off girlfriend, Odette, living here with us as well in our Asia aviary. She's enjoying the waterfall over there, as well as a mated pair, Ladybill and Zero, that live in our Africa aviary as well. The other 2 shoebill storks in the U.S. live in the Dallas Aquarium in Dallas, Texas. But they've got 2, we've got 4. It's not a competition, but we're winning. Now, as we come through this gate, it's going to be another tight squeeze, so just keep your hands inside as we come on through here. I talked a lot about our animals here at the zoo. I want to know about your animals at home. Who here has pets? Dogs, cats, small children, husbands, plants. I count those too. You probably walk your dog. You probably play with some string with your cat or something. You probably put on supports for your husband or something. Here at the zoo, we call that enrichment. Enrichment is anything we can present to an animal to break up each day, make each day different from the last. Keep them physically and mentally stimulated. Now, that's a big grown-up way of saying that animals like toys and things. You can see some examples here in our enrichment workshop. In the bottom left, you can see that we've kept up with that World Cup fever. The rhinos are playing with soccer balls. Of course, the rhinos don't exactly understand the rules of soccer, and they don't use regulation soccer balls. Each of those soccer balls weighs about 200 to 400 pounds. Yeah, if a soccer player were to kick one of those, they would not need to fake the injuries. You can also see that the elephants in top right there, they are lifting those logs. They do something in the wild as well. Just imagine a dog with a stick. Just make it a very big dog carrying a gigantic stick. That weighs about 700, 800 pounds. Of course, that gets them moving, keeps them physically and mentally stimulated as well. But if you keep your eyes peeled for it, as we move on forward, you might notice other examples of that enrichment, as well as if you're walking around the zoo, you might also notice that as well. Now, coming up on the left here, try to look between this building and there's going to be a little doghouse. You might see one of our bay dikers lying down right over there. That is Cassie, one of our bay dikers. She is our older one. We also have her daughter, Acacia, that lives in here as well. Now, the bay diker, believe it or not, that was a fully grown antelope that you saw right back there. They only grow to be about the size of a large house cat, so they're very, very tiny. But that was fully grown. Now, coming on up, is Zach showing us his better end. You can probably stop right here. He's kind of behind the tree. Now, if you guys want to stand up to get a better view at Zach, you are free to do so. He's kind of standing right behind that tree over there, but you can probably see his back. Just by looking at his butt, what do you guys think he's related to?
Zebra!
Zebra, right? He got you fooled. Now, a lot of people would look at his butt and think zebra. Of course, it does look like he stole his stripes from the local zebra. But you see his tongue? His tongue is 16 inches long and it is freehand style. Aside from that, if you get a good look at his head, you can't see it, you can also look at the animal identification guide. He has these two filthy horns called ossicones. They typically use those for sparring and protection. Now the tongue plus the horns tell me that he's more closely related to the giraffe. He is actually the only living relative of the giraffe. However, unlike the giraffe, he is not a herd animal. They prefer to live solitary, so that's why he's alone in here. But that doesn't mean he doesn't like the ladies. He does have children and grandchildren. A couple months ago, one of his grandchildren was born all the way out in Tokyo. So, very well traveled as a family. But he is getting up there in age. You can kind of see that he hobbles a little bit. He is 22 years old, turning 23 soon. So it's probably best to leave him be. Yeah, he at his age is considered geriatric for an okapi, but he is enjoying it, so we'll leave him be. Now, we're coming up on a more social animal, an animal that does prefer to live together. We're looking for the African painted dogs here on the left-hand side, and I do see them on the left here. We can probably pull all the way up to the night barn to get a better view at them. Thank you, Mandy. All right. Now, I do see two of them lying down under the bushes there. We can probably stop right about here should be good. Alright, now I do see two of them lying down right over there. We're at a full stop if you guys want to stand so right now. They are doing what they do best, which is sleeping in what scientists call a cuddle puddle. Now, these guys, they sleep for about 18 to 20 hours a day. Sounds real good to me in the middle of my shift. But that's very important to them because, believe it or not, these cute and cuddly guys, they are one of the most efficient and voracious hunters in the entire wild. To put it into perspective, a lion or a tiger, they're going to catch their prey about 20 to 30% of the time. Not too bad. African painted dogs, they're going to capture their prey 80% of the time. That's because they're going to be led by the most dominant female in the pack. She's going to be leading her entire pack of up to 40, 50 dogs, using a series of chirps and whistles that other animals can't identify as a predator. They don't bark, they don't howl, they chirp, almost like a bird. It's pretty crazy. By using that auditory camouflage, they're going to surround their prey, and then they'll give a go signal. The female will give a go signal. From that point, 80% of the time, that is what they're having for dinner. But of course, to get to that point, they do have to rest for a lot of the day. Now, despite how they look, they are not sprinters, they are marathon runners. They can run at about 40 miles an hour for several hours at a time. I like to say that if I were to drive all the way home to Orlando, depending on traffic, you can kind of think of it as like a genealogy website meets a dating app for zoo animals. So we know the genetics of our animals here at Zoo Tampa, as well as the genetics of other animals in other zoos across the U.S., across the world as well. So to keep a good diverse genetic population, we can do trade Tampa. Of course, it is not updated because we have had 2 new additions within the last couple months. Their names aren't up here yet, but you might notice that some have moved on for SSP reasons. I'll get back to that in a second. But if you want to know if any of our other animals are part of an SSP, just look for that symbol with the mama and baby rhino on the different signs around the zoo. If you see that symbol, an animal's like sign, that tells you that that animal's part of the SSP. But we can move onward. Now, keep a note the names on Gava and Mufasa as we move on forward. On Gava, who's now moved on for SSP reasons, he used to live here and he had 8 babies within our care. He was a very successful father. But out in California, they had a rhino named Mufasa. Mufasa didn't exactly get along with the California girls. They put him in what scientists like to call the friend zone for over a decade, about 13 years. He never had any babies. So for that reason, on Gava went over to California, they sent us Mufasa, who's right in front of us right now. And I like to think that Mufasa likes the Florida ladies a little bit better because I hired 3 babies within our care. One of them 2 years ago, one of them 4 months ago, and one of them 1 month ago. So yeah, we've got 2 very young babies here. This is the first time in our history that we've had 2 babies at the same time. So let's say congratulations to Mufasa over here. It looks like he's doing the encounter right now, meeting people, getting some snacks, getting some pets as well. We will see his babies. Oh, I can see one of his babies right over here. We can probably stop right around here. That should be good. Because we can't. Once we hit this curve, we can't stop. So if you guys want to stand up, try to get a better view at the baby over here.
Get them on too. Get them on.
Yeah, right in front of us, that is Aleke. Aleke is one of our adult females, and behind her is her daughter Maleka. Maleka is the 1-month-old that I was telling you about. We might get a little bit of a better view as we pull on forward around the corner, but once we hit this turn, we can't stop because we'll be very, very close to the wall. And rhinos have horns, so if we get any scratches on this truck, it's my fault. So, we'll go ahead and we'll get a view of her as we come on forward. Now, like I was mentioning, Maleka is only 1 month old, and she'll probably get up to follow her mom right over here. Look at her. She is the cutest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life, and yes, that is a scientific fact. Of course, right when we move, then she walks over down that way, right? Of course, that's how it is. We do also have, right over here, that is Mufasa's, is that Daruba or Muku? It's getting harder to tell them apart, to be honest. I believe that is Daruba. She's our 5-year-old. Now, as we come up around the corner here, we will see Fun on Cujo with the really long, really sharp horn, as well as Muku, who is Mufasa's firstborn son. Now, Muku is like lying down right by the wall over here. But the one with the long, sharp horn, that's Fun on Cujo. Apparently that because she's never had any babies of her own, but despite that, she has a lot of experience as a mother. She acts as a babysitter or surrogate mother to the other young ones that are born here. Now last up, this is Kidogo's super mom, and as we turn the corner here, we'll see her daughter, Kalele. Kalele is the 4-month-old that I was telling you about. She is also the cutest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life, and yes, once again, that is a scientific fact. They couldn't be more different, Kalele and Maleka. Kalele is more rambunctious. She's a little bundle of chaos. She loves to run around, despite what she looks like right now, of course, running around. Being a cute little baby, it's gotta be tiring, so she's taking a nap right now. Maleka is a little bit more on the shyer side. Now we are at a full stop. If you guys want to stand up, get a better view of them, you are once again free to do so. Right, you want to take this chance to shout you guys out. Simply by being here, you help to support Zoo Tampa and the things that we love to do. Take care of animals, not only here, but also out in the wild as well. Not nearly as exciting as the rhinos on the left side is on the right side, a brick wall. Now, brick walls, believe it or not, is one of our cool conservation projects. We partner with ERA, or Elephant Human Relations Aid, to build these protected walls around villages and watering holes in Africa, as well as building additional watering holes for elephants out in the wild as well, big as ponds. And simply by being here, once again, you help to support those kinds of conservation projects. So thank you for being here. But I did mention elephants. You guys already noticed the elephants. I can't hide it any longer. We can move on forward to see the elephants. Now we do have African bush elephants here. We have 5 of them that live here. 5 females. It looks like one of them is over here kind of like taking a snack in the grass. I believe that is Ellie right in front of us. Yep, that's Ellie. We could probably pull forward, and once we're in line with her, we can probably take a stop. Yeah, right before we reach the curve here.
Oh, so cute.
That should be good. Thank you. Alright, now that we're at a full stop, once again, you're free to stand up, get a better view at the elephants here. Now, like I mentioned, we do have 5 elephants, 3 adults and 2 younger ones. Right in front of us, this is Ellie. She's the matriarch of our herd here, our parade, as they call it. That does mean that she is the oldest and wisest. She recently celebrated, just a couple months ago, her 45th birthday. Wish her a late happy birthday. But they say it's rude to talk about a woman's age, so let's talk about her weight instead. She is 9,000 pounds, and the largest animal here at Zoo Tampa. That's heavier than this entire truck with people on it, so quite a big girl. But I like to also say that she's probably the wisest animal at the zoo as well. She knows how to do a lot of different behaviors. She knows how to play the harmonica, she knows how to paint, she knows how to spray paint as well. And she can also make a lot of different vocalizations. I've heard her bark like a dog once, it was pretty cool. But we'll go ahead and take our seats. We'll leave her be. Looks like she is also moving on as well. You can see that she's using her trunk to pick things up, pick up that grass as well. So it is as delicate as our fingers. You can pick up a single blade of grass if she wants to. But not only that, she can also crush coconuts and things like that and carry logs that are 700 to 800 pounds. So to put it into perspective, the human body has about 639 muscles in it, in the whole body. An elephant's trunk has about 40,000 muscles in just the trunk alone. So they are very, very muscular. Very, very good at doing a lot of different things with their trunk. It's a multi-purpose tool for elephants.
It's a giraffe.
Yeah, I can also see some of our giraffes over in the distance. It's kind of hard to see them from here, but I do see the 3 ladies, Lillian, Tiana, and Kylie on over there. We might get a better view of them as we turn the corner, but we're going to come through a tight set of gates here. Just keep our hands inside as we come on through here. Some of the elephants might also be in the night barn right over here. The night barn is, of course, where the elephants can spend the night. It is also where they can take shelter if anything were to happen. It's rated for a Category 5 hurricane, so if, Florida were to happen, they can take shelter in there. So this right here is one of our elephant training yards. Of course, this is where we will do training sessions with the elephants. All of our training is voluntary, so if they don't want to participate, they don't have to. We leave the doors open. They can just leave if they don't want to participate. But if they do participate, they get their favorite snacks. So, it's kind of up to them, whichever they prefer. Ellie's favorite snacks are mushy coconuts. We had a male also as well. His favorite snacks were, did I just say mushy coconuts? Ellie's favorite snacks were mushy bananas. The male's favorite was coconuts, which he would crush. I got that mixed up. But, don't mind that. Now, everybody's favorite part of the entire zoo is going to come up right here. The elephant poop dumpster on the left-hand side. Take a big old whip as we come on through and bask in the ambience. Yeah. We do have 5 elephants that live here. Each of them eats about 300 pounds a day, which means that they can poop about 300 pounds a day. That means that there's a whole ton of shoveling to have to do. But of course, we don't let that waste go to waste. We partner with Farms Cross Florida to provide our elephant dung as fertilizer. So if you like fresh strawberries from Plant City, wash your produce, people. You might have an elephant to thank for your produce. Also, around the left-hand side here, this is a giraffe training stall. This, of course, allows our animal care staff to get down to the level of a giraffe to provide them with the care that they need. But speaking of the care that they need, all animals have to go to the vet, right? We have our own vet on property, the Catherine Lowry Strauss Veterinary Hospital on the right-hand side here. But you see that door right there? You can't exactly fit an elephant or a giraffe in that door. So how do we bring those animals to the vet? We bring the vet to the animals. That means everything in there is mobile. That means x-rays, ultrasounds, laser therapy, surgeries. You can bring all the equipment out to an animal's habitat to perform those procedures right out there with them. A lot easier on everybody involved, a lot less stressful on everybody involved as well. Of course, also to take care of animals, you have to feed them. That's why we have the Animal Nutrition Center on the right-hand side here. We prepare over 1,000 meals a day for all of our animals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we do a lot of good work in there. This big white structure right in front of us, that is the fridge. Of course, that's where we store all this food that's getting ready to be processed for all the animals that live here. Now, as we come through the mixed species yard, it's another tight squeeze. Just keep your hands inside as we come on through. I do see one of our male giraffe, Sakani, right behind the bushes over there, behind the shed, on the other side of this fence. Now, inside this area, we do have a couple different species of animals, none of whom I've seen today.
That's a
Oh, never mind, there they are. We have our Lowland Yella lying down under the trees. The darker brown one, that is the male, and the lighter orange one, that is the female. That's called dimorphism, where the males and females look different, but they are the same species. Now, last up, we do have the two largest species of tortoise in the entire world. First up, we're going to see the Aldabra tortoises, our biggest one, lying down and taking a nap. His name is Big Al. He is 450 pounds and only about 54 years old. Now, I say only because the oldest one we know of, his name is Jonathan. Jonathan lives off the coast of Africa. He currently holds the Guinness World Record for oldest animal at 194 years old as of last month. So, how old can they grow? We don't know yet. They keep outliving their researchers. Jonathan was hatched out when Andrew Jackson was president, and he keeps outliving his researchers, so it's pretty crazy. Last up, these are the Galapagos tortoises. They're the largest species in the world, regardless they're still tiny. They're only teenagers at about 15 to 20 years old, so yes, they are teenage turtles. Unfortunately, they are not mutants or ninjas. Last up, these are the Homo sapien tunnel. Homo sapiens, of course, human beings. They travel in small families, or small groups called families, and large groups called field trips or summer camps. They're also led by the most dominant females, just like many of the other animals that we saw here at the zoo as well. But, like I mentioned, you guys are one of the most important animals here. Simply by being here, you help support, take care of animals, not only here, but also out in the wild as well. If you want to learn a little bit more about what Zoo Tampa does for animals out in the wild, you can scan the ZT Saves QR code on your way out, right by Steve-O right over there. We're going to come to a complete stop. I'll let you know when it's alright to stand up. They still got to get the stairs, they still got to open the door. I don't need anybody falling out of the open door. Because otherwise you'll find out what it's like to be a newborn.